Hi, Abby. All right, I'm just going to jump right into it because I totally messed up. This is my third try, and I'm really mad at myself. So I'm jumping right into things. So the first thing that I had talked about, the first two times I tried to record this, was reminding you about how all angles in a circle add up to 360 degrees. Now, I know that's something that you know, but you need to keep it in mind because it's going to help you. So the next thing that I wanted to remind you about is that because our whole circle equals 360 degrees, if you divide that in half, each half of the circle equals 180 degrees. So even if it was divided this way, it would be 180 on this side, 180 on this side, or the way this circle is, it's 180 here, 180 here. Wish I could turn this. There you go. Where you've got half of your circle is 180, okay? And then you can divide your circle up even more when you look back at your unit circle past that, where you can divide it into fourths, and you can say that each quarter is 90 degrees. You know, if you went further and you added your extra line here, and you said that this one is 90 degrees, 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 just like that. So I want to show you this example here that I had set out for you. This is the tutorial that I reminded myself of everything about because it's been a long time. So I took one of his examples that is not from any of the problems that you sent me, so that hopefully it'll kind of push it further for you. And the example that he laid out was this circle, and in this circle they gave you that there was a angle that was 165 degrees, an angle of 145 degrees, and then an angle of X that we don't know, and they want to know what that one is. So we go back and remember that an entire circle adds up to 360 degrees. So what we'll do is we will add up all of the angles, even the one that we don't know, and set it up just like a regular algebra problem that we would normally do. So 165 plus 145 plus X equals 360, okay? And you can see I carried these down and added them together. 165 plus 145 was 310. And then don't forget to carry down that X. So you have 310 degrees plus X equals 360. And then we're going to solve from there just as we usually would. Got our equal sign here, so on this side over here we are going to take away 310 so that it cancels out and it's gone. And then we're going to take away 310 on this side as well. So when we do 360 minus 310, we are left with 50. So we know that X equals 50. Okay? Oops. Maybe it's because who knows? Okay, X equals 50. I don't know why it's not typing. So we know that X equals 50. And we can check it because if we pull up a calculator and added them all together, and we said 165 plus 145 plus 50, we're going to check and make sure that we end up with 360 degrees, which we do. So we know that we have accurately solved for that missing angle right here. So that moves us into the problems that you are working on, okay? And they are obviously a little bit more difficult than that. So on the tutorial that I was looking at, he had some really good reminders about arcs in general. So you have these different types of arcs. You have a minor arc, a major arc, and you have a semicircle, okay? So let's start with the semicircle because that's the easiest. A semicircle is an arc that has the endpoints that lie on the diameter. I know it sounds silly because I'm starting from the bottom, but this is the easiest one. So we're going to talk about this one right here. So this one right here is asking us for the measurement of EHG. So what you're going to do is, anytime they're asking you for a measurement, and that was the mistake that I made and why I have to re-record. is you are going to follow it along exactly the way it tells you along the circle. Don't cross within the circle or anything like that, because then you're going to end up with something funky like I did. So, measurement of EHG. So I'm going to follow EHG all the way around. Okay? And I see that that is marking exactly half of my circle. I see that my endpoints, E and G, are right on the diameter, so I know that that measurement is 180 degrees. I don't have to do any math. I don't have to figure anything out. It is a semicircle. It's half of the circle. It's 180 degrees. So let's move up here to our minor arc. So the minor arc is the shortest arc connecting two endpoints. So right here, if you look at this circle, see how one part of it is red and one part of it is blue? So it's asking us for the measurement of the arc length of BC. Okay? BC. So I know it's already a color, but I'm going to go ahead and pull out my pencil and follow it, because that's what you should do whenever you're working on these. Write them down. Even though they're on the computer, write them down, Abby, and draw these circles out so that you can write on them, so that you'll be able to mark and follow your arcs that it's asking for. So minor arc, B to C. So we're going to go B to C. Now this one we were lucky and it was already colored for us, but it's not going to be on your problems. So we have B to C. Now, see how that is smaller than this big gigantic red arc here? Okay, it's the shortest arc connecting two endpoints. And oftentimes you will have a angle measurement already here listed. Okay, it won't be X, it might be, I don't know, 47 or 50 or whichever it is. And so you know when it's a minor arc that it's going to be that angle. Now a major arc is where you're going to have to start doing some math. A major arc is the longest arc connecting two endpoints. So in this problem right here, it's asking us for the measurement of BDC. So what we'll do is we'll follow that along in that exact order. Don't cross through our circle, nothing like that. We're going to start B, and come all the way around, D, C. This is what it's asking for. Okay? So notice how that part right here is, that part right here is already labeled in red. Okay? So that's why I made sure that that was marked in red, so that you can notice that it is the longest arc that's connecting two endpoints. So this one, notice it has 3 of the points of the circle in it. This one only had 2. This one has 3. It included B and D and C. So B and C are the endpoints. It's like a sandwich. Okay, so you've got your B and C. Those are your endpoints. So the way you figure it out is your formula is 360 degrees minus whatever angle they have already given you. Okay? So, the example that he had on his sheet that I was using, right here with our examples, right here it asked for the measurement of the arc length of G to H. So I'm going to pull out my pencil and I am going to follow it along so I can make sure that I'm looking at it correctly. It wants to know G to H. Well, the best thing about that is I can already see that it is a minor arc because it is less than 180 degrees. It is less than half of the circle. And when I followed it along from G to H, I see right here that they already gave me the angle measurement right here. So my arc length is 122 degrees. So let's move on to the next one it's asking us. Here, it's asking us for the arc length measurement of GLH. Now, this is where I messed up. And I'd like to show you actually what I did. And I don't know what I was thinking, and I had to completely start over because I just kept rolling with it, and then I realized that I made a mistake, and I was like, oh, there's no fixing this. I have to go back. This is what I did when I followed it, and this is what you should absolutely not do. I followed it from G to L to H, but when I followed it G to L to H. Abby, what was I doing and what was I thinking? That's absolutely incorrect. We are looking for arc length, so I should be following this circle all the way around, shouldn't I? I'm a nut. I don't know what I was doing. So, let's follow it the correct way. So the measurement of the arc length for G, L, H, I'm going to follow it like this. I'm going to start at G, and I'm going to follow it along L, and I'm going to keep following the outside of the circle all the way to H. I don't know why I went through that circle. It was just silly. So, right here, we're looking for this arc length measurement here. So, we can see that we already have this part here, right? Okay, we already know G to H. And it's asking us on this side for this whole completely other part of the circle. So this is a major arc. So our major arc, remember we said, is 360 degrees minus X if they give you a measurement for an angle, which they did. We're lucky. So 360 degrees minus 122 equals 238 degrees. That is the measurement of GLH for arc length. Okay? And remember, it's like a sandwich. So you've got GLH. This is your end point, and this is your end point. Okay? Even though this J is sitting over here, you go right past it and go right there to your next end point where it asks you to stop. And we can check that work just as usual, just to make sure, because if this is 122 degrees, and we said that this arc right here was 238, let's make sure that it equals 360. And it does. So, we know we're correct. We know that we have completely filled this circle to 360 degrees. I want to get rid of the line. I don't want to get rid of the circle. Oh, I knew I'd get rid of the circle. Okay. So, now, right here, we have our semicircle. Okay? So our semicircle is following just want to make sure I've got this right here because I switched some of my things here. GLH, GLJ, GLJ. Okay, I'm good. So we are going to be following the measurement to try and find the arc length of GLJ. So I'm going to pull out my pencil. I'm going to follow it exactly in the order that it says without crossing through the circle like a crazy person. G, L, J. And I can see automatically that I have a semicircle. So I don't have to do any math. I don't have to figure anything out. I have 180 degrees. It is cut completely in half. We have our diameter right here, crossing our circle, and we have went from G to L to J. So this arc length right here is 180 degrees. Alright, so let's get into a couple of the problems that you had sent me, and then I'm also might stop this little tutorial so that way, because there was a couple that I am double checking my own self on because look, I'm crossing through circles like a crazy person, so I just want to make sure that I'm not going to do anything wild. So your first problem that you sent me says that it was asking us to find the length of PST. PST. Okay, so let's see here. Let's follow it along. So we have P, S, and T. Following it along. Nope, look what I did. I did it again, Abby. See? This is why we gotta double check and pay attention. We need to follow along all the way outside the circle. I don't know why I feel so like I want to go through that circle. Don't do it, Abby. Don't be me. Don't do it. I'm going to go outside this circle. I guess it's good. I'm showing you what not to do as well as what to do. I'm going to follow outside the circle, and I'm going to go from P to S. Even if I have to pass over that Q, pass over that R, I'm going to go to S. And then I'm going to go to T and stop. Now, if we notice, just like we talked about, the major arcs and the minor arcs. So I can already see that this is a major arc because it is the biggest one. Right here is our minor arc, right? So it's asking us for this big major arc right here. So let's look back at what it says. Major arc is going to be 360 degrees minus whatever degrees you have. Let's see. Do we have enough stuff to figure that out? Well, not quite. We're missing something right here, aren't we? That's probably going to help us. So, to find this out, we have this right here that's cut in half, don't we? P and S, this diameter here. So that means our circle is cut in half right there. Let me turn this circle a little bit so we can see that it's cut in half perfectly. I know that looks a little wild, but it's cut in half perfectly right here, okay? And it's given us 74 degrees, and it's given us 39 degrees. Half of our circle is 180 degrees, right? Yes. So, we are going to do plus 39 plus, I know it doesn't have an X, but we don't know it, right? So we're going to put an X. X equals 180 degrees. Okay. So, let's go ahead and add those two together. So we've got 74 plus 39. Okay, 113. So now we are at 113. So 113 plus X equals 180. Alright. And we are going to follow this just like a regular algebra problem. And we are going to, right here, take away this 113 on both sides of our equal sign. Okay. You better be quiet. Okay. And we're going to see what we end up with. So you're going to cancel out. You're going to go away. I like the color that it keeps giving me for this pencil. Why would I want to use a pencil that was green like that? You're going to go away. Look, it's still green. What's red? Get out of there. There we go. Get out of there. So those cancel out. And now we're going to do 180 minus 113. Whoa, I did plus. 67. So this angle right here equals 67 degrees. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Degrees. Alright, 67 degrees. So, we need to find this whole thing right here to T, alright? that means that we're missing this piece now. Okay? So let's see here. If we have, did I include this in your thing? Probably not, so I can go to his. About congruent angles where they share a point, or excuse me, adjacent arcs. Sorry, not congruent angles. Adjacent arcs and congruent arcs, they share the same point, so they're equal, okay? Just like this one. If you see this one, I don't know if it'll let me zoom, but if I look at this one, see how I have 63 degrees here. This one is also 63 degrees, right across from each other at that midpoint right here. Okay, they're equal. Alright, so, come back out, and let's go back to our problem. So let's see our congruent angles here. So I have 74 degrees here. Let me add that up right here. Here's 74 degrees, okay? So now we're only missing one piece, right? But we don't even need that piece yet. But let's see what this equals right here. So we have 74 plus 67 plus 39 plus 74 equals this whole arc length right here from P to S to T is 254 degrees. Now let's make sure of that. I'm going to go ahead and say that's my answer, but let's make sure. So here we're going to put our text box and say that the length of PST is 254 degrees. And the way we can make sure of that is by how, Abby? All of our circles equal 360 degrees, right? So, let's see here. Right here we've got, so we can add these together and carry them across to make sure that it's equal. So 67 plus 39 is 106. I really hope I'm right, Abby. Okay, 106. All right, so let's see if we are correct. Let's add up all of our angles. We could go the hard way and we can do 74 plus, 67 plus 39 plus 74. But I'm not going to do that because I already added together. It's right here, 254. Let's see if 254 plus 106 is going to give us our whole entire circle. 254 plus 106 equals, praise the Lord, 360 degrees. We did it right. Whew! So, P to S to T arc length is 254 degrees. We were correct. Now, I know we did a lot of extra stuff there where we had to check our work and make sure that we were right, but if you don't go back and make sure that your circle is going to equal 360 degrees and plug things back in and things like that, then you're not going to know if you got the right answer. Because when I had to start over, it was because I checked my answer and I was completely wrong. And I'm glad I checked my answer because then I would not have been teaching you the right thing. So I'm going to pause this tutorial for now and then I'm going to go through the rest of the problems. Okay? So I know I gave you the answer to this one, and what I might do is talk you through portions of some of the rest of the problems and then see if you can come up with some of the answers on your own, or maybe challenge you and, I know that we're working on trying to get that grade up and show you, exactly how to do it so that way you can show me that you did the work, on a piece of paper or something, and then you would be able to turn in the correct answers, and then maybe I can change a couple of the angles and measurements and things like that to see if you can do the exact same type of problem but with different numbers. Not sure, but I really want to make sure that you understand it, Abby, okay? So what I've done so far. If you have any questions, you can text me and let me know. I know I've only gotten up to that first problem, but all of this information at the beginning is what's going to get you to fly through the rest of these, okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. I'm going to send you this, and then you can watch it, and then while you're watching that and thinking about it and working on, I believe that was problem 3. I'm not sure, I can't remember. You'll have to look. And double check my answer when you plug it into, you know, Schoology or Google Docs or however it is your teacher's making you submit your answers. And let me know if I'm right. Because if I'm not right, I want to make sure. Alright? So, how do I stop this? Bear with me. Here it is.